Question. What does a social experiment to get 15 minutes of fame and executive protection in Canada have in common? Absolutely nothing, but they will today. Newly elected Premier of Quebec, Pauline Marois, was about to give her victory speech around midnight on Tuesday, Canadian time, when she was all of a sudden whisked from the stage. Unbeknownst to her, she had no idea what was going on. Media outlets covering the event had no idea what was going on as well, but her security team did. Meanwhile, outside, this guy, 62-year-old gentleman who had arrived in his tactical bedclothes carrying a rifle and a pistol, had mortally wounded one gentleman and seriously injured another. And I forgot to mention that when the pajama attacker was attempting to flee, he threw a Molotov cocktail against the venue where the event was being taken place. Now, meanwhile inside, the newly elected premier's staffers were convincing her to go back on stage, to convince everyone to calm down and leave in a calm manner. Mind you, the scene and the event is still unstable. There's a guy being arrested outside or in the process of being arrested. She delivers the speech to tell everyone to calm down and goes back off stage. Now her family convinces her to go back out there one more time and finish her acceptance speech. I can only imagine what the security team was doing. At this point, it's just a fiasco. So now they go back out on stage again and allow her to deliver her speech. At this point, the security team has lost all control of the event. So I can imagine the detail leader getting on his radio, says, all stations, stand by, we're going back out, keep it tight. Keep it gangsta, dog, keep it gangsta. Keep it gangsta, dog, keep it gangsta. Keep it gangsta. There is absolutely nothing funny about an absolute maniac coming into an event and shooting one person and killing another. What I found odd is that we train for moments like this, at least we're supposed to. When they decided to move her off the stage the first time, it seemed like there was some tug of war going between the two agents as to which way they were going to move her. I love you, you love me. When they did finally decide where they're going to move her, the rest of the team kind of casually collapsed down on her, leaving her wide open. Remember, this is an active shooting situation. The gentleman was inside the venue, and yet it seems so lax. He has a gun! More importantly than that, it shows that how easily you can lose control over the security of your principal by influences of staffers and or family members, especially when the most important message is, I'm still in control. That's the message. I'm not knocking the Canadians for losing control, because it happened here at the highest levels. 9/11, when President Bush ordered the Secret Service to take him back to D.C. because the American people needed to see that he was still in control. Okay, let's get on this social experiment. So this guy, 21-year-old student, Brett Cohen, decides that he wants to see what it feels like to be a celebrity for a day. So what does he do? He puts together a fake entourage, fake paparazzi, and hires 2 bodyguards and walks the streets of New York City to see how his test works. And it went well. So as he walked around town, people got sucked into the vortex. They wanted to know who this celebrity was. He was really nobody. But when they interviewed him, people swore that they knew who he was.
Do you know Brett Cohen?
Yeah.
Where do you know him from?
He's a Spider-Man?
Yeah. What did you think of him?
I think he's excellent. I think he's absolutely awesome. I think he's got a great future in the movie business. And I just took a picture with him. You know what I mean? I feel special.
What was your favorite movie that Brett's been in?
Spider-Man.
Brett's experiment proved the point. If you look the part, act the part, you are the part. And in fact, he's more famous now than he was prior to his social experiment. People swore they knew who he was, even though they didn't. But there was one person in that video or in that experiment that I did know who he was. One of those bodyguards in the video is in the business, and it isn't fake. He's been on my watch list for some time now. I watched him on Facebook post, I will be with XYZ celebrity tonight at XYZ Club. Come on down and say hi. Later that evening, he says, I'm here with XYZ celebrity, and we're sitting beside XY other celebrity. Come on down. Violating every rule that we live by. Brett Cohen took a realistic thesis, presented himself in a fraudulent manner in an experiment, and proved his thesis. Someone else in this video had an unrealistic approach to the industry, presented himself in a fraudulent manner in the experiment, and proved my thesis that many people in this industry don't have any business in it. This week's tip of the week is about staying sharp with your skills. Now, in the past, I posted videos of President Sarkozy getting pulled into the rope line, the Prime Minister of Australia getting dragged through the protest crowd to her vehicle, as well as today's video of the Premier of Quebec. What do they all have in common? People getting caught flat-footed. My suggestion to you is get together with some experts or leaders, and there goes that word expert, or leaders in this industry that know about training. Come up with some realistic AOPs or immediate action drills and train to that so you know what it feels like in that split second when you have to respond. The key to it here is it has to be realistic.
I'll give you the idea in a nutshell. B-A bay, B-E-B, B-I bicky by, B-O boat. I'll give you the correct demonstration.